I'm Ricky Green, and I'm the principal of Westbriar Elementary. And on behalf of the teachers and the students, we're really glad to have you with us. We think Westbriar is a very special school, and we hope that during the time that you see what's going on here that you'll think we are too. I have with me here today the newest members of the Westbriar student body that we welcomed in September, the kindergartners and the class of the year 2005. They're going to help me share with you some of the things that they've told me they've learned about Westbriar since coming in September. Vicki?
Every Friday we wear maroon and white shirts at Spirit Day.
At Spirit Day. Okay, Michael?
We learn about computers and drawing and math, and it's fun.
Okay, Alexander.
The principal is nice because she helps the kids, and the teachers are nice because they help the kids too.
All right. Katie?
We have good friends at Westbriar, and the big kids are nice to the little kids.
Okay. We think Westbriar is a terrific school, and we hope you will too.
From what we saw during our visit to Westbriar Elementary, it seems that this is indeed a terrific school. This year's theme is Happily Ever After Begins Today. The theme represents the idea that the future of our community rests in the hands of today's students. The demands of tomorrow's world will require its citizens to be strong leaders, great thinkers, and positive contributors to social and environmental causes. Westbriar Elementary School is giving its youngsters the skills they will need to be all of these things and more.
When I grow up, I want to be a paleontologist, and I know you don't get paid too much, but I'm pretty interested in science, and I think dinosaurs is pretty interesting.
Well, when I grow up, I sort of want to be an astronomer. There are scientists who study space.
I want to be an ornithologist, and that means you study birds, and I have to be able to study the life cycle and measure the food that I give the birds, and I have to be able to find where they live on maps.
The first step in this preparation for the future is to give the students a strong academic program. The curriculum has been designed to stimulate intellectual curiosity, to cultivate problem-solving and critical thinking skills, and to get students involved in their learning. One way these objectives are attained is through AIMS activities, that is, activities integrating math and science. On Family Math and Science Night, parents got a chance to see some of these activities in action.
Do you know where you're going? Come on in. Okay, let me see what your first session is. Story time. You're going to go to the library. Can you show your mom where the library is? Okay, you ready to go. All right.
The event that we held was called Westbriar's Family Night, and we like to call it that to include all members of the family. And specifically, it was the Family Math and Science Night. And families pre-registered for 3 out of 19 different sessions that they had to choose from. And they were able to come and work with their children and to see some of the kinds of things that we try to do here in our math and science program.
One of the sessions was called Eggs Full of Sound.
The Eggs Full of Sound was a primary investigation into the physics of sound energy. The children were using different eggs to try and shake them and figure out what was inside. That was the basic way that the experiment was to run. But the children were then to discover what was inside and how the relationship of the weight or size of the object inside affected the sound and the vibrations and the frequency and the pitch of the noise. So they were investigating sound in that session.
What do you think? Toothpick?
Yeah.
I think you're right. You're right.
123, 223.
224.
Wow.
Well, let's see. We had an estimate of 65. Do you think we were off a little bit?
I think we're way off.
I think so too. Let's write down what we had.
Okay.
This heavy-duty exercise in estimation proved to be a bit challenging. In this session, which was called Building Bridges, the idea was to see how the construction of a structure would affect the amount of weight that it could withstand. The students made a prediction, then they added weight and compared the actual results to their estimates.
All right, that was close. I think it needs a little bit more, though.
The emphasis this year at Westbriar is on math and science. So these AIMS activities are an important part of the curriculum. They provide not only a strong foundation of knowledge, but also the ability to apply this knowledge and produce results. Collecting and analyzing data, making predictions, and looking for patterns are skills that students will use for a lifetime.
We want to integrate math and science with the children because integrated math and science is something that they will find in the real world. When they grow up, they will have integrated social studies, science, math, language arts in all of life and in their work. And if they don't learn to do it now, then it will be more difficult for them to do it later.
Boys and girls, we're going to play Challenge 24 today. You know your goal is to get to 24 using all 4 numbers on your card. You cannot use one number more than once. Remember that the 9 is filled in with red. That's the difference between the 9 and the 6. You've got the answer. It's 24. Go for it.
These students are playing a game called Challenge 24. It's played a lot like the TV game Jeopardy! They know the answer. It's 24. What they have to figure out is, what's the question? How can you make these 4 numbers equal 24?
I got it. 11 times 2 is 22 plus 2 is 24. I got another one.
This is just another math activity which gets kids thinking. As the name of the game implies, it is a challenge. This challenge gets students excited about math and keeps their interest.
And initially, it's very difficult. The students, when they were first presented with the game, a lot of them said, I can't do it. You know, you can't get 24 out of this. And a lot of the teachers who didn't know the answers either just said, oh, keep trying. But the game is designed to enhance critical thinking skills and to help students see patterns in numbers. The game is available in a lot of the stores in the mall, and the kids are starting to see it out and starting to hear students from other schools talk about it. So it's not just a thing they do in school. They actually want to come, they're eager to play each other, and they're starting to know who the real champions are. Kids who are wanting to make the cards up themselves or wanting to take the cards home and study them so they can beat their friend the next day. It's real interesting to see their excitement with it.
But math is not the only subject they're studying at Westbriar.
Finally, the wind picks up and the ship stopped to Africa to get food and water on the way to Virginia. We landed in our new world in April 26, 1607.
These 4th graders are learning about Virginia history. Not only did they have the opportunity to read about the events of the past, but they had the chance to experience the times when they traveled to Jamestown.
In 4th grade, we study Virginia history. We have a wonderful textbook, but it has a tendency to just present the facts, and it doesn't make the history of Virginia come alive. We have a grant, and the grant allows us to make a video and to travel to the places in Virginia that are interesting, that the children study. Jamestown is sort of our favorite. We read the book, The Double Life of Pocahontas, and that was also part of the grant.
Work on the video began last year and should be complete sometime this spring. The students have done all of the production work on their own. They decided which historical sites to visit, what information to include about each site, and in what order they should present the information.
There were 4 students that were selected to be the cameramen, and they were trained on our video camera, and we do a lot of videoing, so there were lots of opportunities for them to learn. The other children divided into groups, and they decided what they wanted to say at the different sites and wrote their scripts, practiced their scripts, and when we got there, they said it.
The roofs of the houses were made of thatch. Thatch is thick straw bound together.
My name is McKaylee Dreyer, and our class went to Jamestown to do some filming about different parts. And my job was to do the part about the double life of Pocahontas in the village. And I learned that, well, doing a video takes a lot of work and editing, and there's a lot to be done. Like, some of their new jobs were interesting, and I learned, like, at nights when they had fires, on warm nights, they would open up the top, there was a square, to get the smoke out, and it's really neat.
My name is Richard, and I agree with McKaylee. It really was neat how the Indians opened up the top and how it was really warm. It was really warm in the winter and pretty cool in the summer. I thought that they just went straight across from England to Virginia, but really they just went around like the circle from South America. They went around South America and then back up. And I learned what a bunch of words meant in filming, and I learned that it takes a lot of work and editing, and you really have to get together and work as a team. When it was silent and we were picturing the ship, I thought we could put like the route that they took and how they stopped off for food and all that. And also, that's a good idea. Well, I think it was pretty fun this way to go and actually see things. I think it was much funner that way than just read, because in reading you can picture things, but in this you see exactly everything. You see exactly what was happening, and you get to read at the same time.
I think when the kids go to the scene, it makes it much more real for them. I think they understand much more clearly exactly what happened. I think it's much more vivid to them and much more real.
This project includes many lessons: history, language arts, communication, and technology. But beyond academics, the video introduces them to personal development and relationship skills, the second part of Westbriar's plan to produce successful citizens. Many activities at Westbriar are planned to help students excel beyond their expectations. The WEES News Show is one of these activities.
And then you get up and she comes down. And then the bridge, and then I come back, and then we'll see this. Excellent. Okay.
These students work hard to perfect this highly orchestrated event, which includes precisely timed music and video roll-ins.
Good morning, Westbriar. This is the WWES Morning News. Since this is Math and Science Week here at Westbriar, here's a science experiment for you to watch, presented by the 6th grade Wizards.
The success of this show relies on teamwork, dedication, and practice. Everyone must do their best and work together to make the production run smoothly.
We have a monthly news crew. We have a different crew every month, and I train them from the beginning, and they just work the whole production. We've got 2 people in front of the camera, anchor and reporter. Then we've got 4 production crew people behind the camera. One's cameraman, one takes care of sound, one is recording the show at another TV, and that person is called a program monitor. That person goes around and makes sure all the TVs are on in the classrooms. And we have a switcher who are switching between our VCR and live parts of the show. And we just start from scratch. Lots of them have experience with camera work only. Most of them have no experience being in front of the camera. And it's a matter of my training them to be comfortable, to let them know that they can do the job. And this is a big thing for 6th graders, because they don't want to be embarrassed in front of their peers. And I make sure that they're not. And that's the kind of training that we do, to make sure that they look good and that they do a good job, they look professional.
Performing for a live audience of peers can be challenging, but when hard work and practice produce successful results, the students are left with a great sense of accomplishment and self-confidence.
Hi, my name is Joey Rector, and this is my little buddy Justin Gunderson. Some of the good things that we do in our little buddy class is probably we get to do activities together, and even though that he's just learning, I learn too, and we get to do some of those really fun activities.
Another part of personal development is cooperation. The staff at Westbriar is providing opportunities for children at every level to recognize that they are part of a group, that they can work cooperatively, and that they can contribute to others. In the Buddy program, the younger children are paired with older ones to work together on various activities.
There are multi-purposes for having big and little buddies. We see the big buddies having an opportunity to care about somebody else other than themselves. They have an opportunity to relax and lose some of the image and have fun. They help the little ones do some problem solving and thinking. They can read to the little ones, and they've done writing with the little ones. The little ones find somebody they can count on and depend on and care about.
I like my buddy because he helps me in most of the writing, and when we hang stuff out for the birds, he puts it on the high branches that I want him to.
Our friendship is probably good for a little person and a big person being together, and we've learned a lot about each other and done a lot of things together to learn about each other.
These students seem to get along very well and enjoy the time they spend together. For students who are having a dispute, however, there is a place where they can go to help them resolve it.
See, we have these tables, and it's all like in the center of the room, and everybody can talk to each other that way, and you can't get any work done because everybody are talking, and you can't do anything, and if you move, you're still getting bothered.
Okay, so you think everybody's talking too much and you can't get your work done?
What you're seeing here is a peer mediation session that students are holding in order to peacefully solve a problem that came about in one of the classes.
They have gone through a basic course in conflict resolution, and at the end of the course it talks about the mediation process. And today, because we are seeing such violence in the schools, this is one of the areas that our annual operating program emphasizes, teaching children to talk about conflicts at a young age. So the student mediators talk with students about problems and try and get them to brainstorm solutions.
Does anybody have any solutions to this problem?
I think that Miss Spring should space out the desks a little so they're not in one big clump, and I think that would solve the problem.
Each of the participants of this session plays a specific role. The people with the problem explain what happened and suggest solutions. The mediator is the leader of the session. He guides the conversation and provides structure. The note taker is on hand to jot down important points and help the students review their discussion. And there is an observer who is called on to judge the climate of the discussion.
They all gave suggestions, and nobody name-called or fought, and they all took each other's opinions. So I think they did a pretty good job.
Students can come to mediation by choice, or they can be referred by teachers or parents who see an ongoing problem. Already the program seems to be a success.
I think the greatest success is when you have a parent come in and you'll be standing in hall duty or whatever and say, last night we had a conflict around the dinner table, and the child said to me, let's stop and think, and thinks in terms of what is the problem we're having. And then they go through the problem solving steps as opposed to getting upset. And several parents have said that they can see it beginning to click even at home. So I guess we can say, yes, it has been successful.
The students' care and cooperation extend beyond the walls of the school and into the community. Through fundraisers and environmental projects, the staff is teaching students that they have a responsibility to give to the community, the third ingredient of Westbriar's recipe for success.
My name is Greg Durr, and I'm the president of the SCA, and my role in the school is to preside over the meetings and give ideas for fundraisers and student activities. Well, this year our main goal is fundraisers. We've already had a food drive, and we're now involved in making a mile of pennies, and that the money for that is going to go to a scholarship fund for students who aren't as fortunate as we are.
This project in particular has the workings of the students working together to collect the money, of course, and also bringing attention to some special needs outside of this school and a little bit more removed from this community in places where the children are not so affluent and they perhaps can benefit from this sort of fundraising. They began by advertising that we were going to try to collect a mile of pennies, and we've connected this project with our school math and science week, and we have basically tried to incorporate questions that involve measurements and estimations. Mrs. Hargrove has been basically heading up this project with the questions and with the collections, and we've been involved with each classroom bringing their pennies, and she's been collecting them in the office.
The 6th grade is also working on a community outreach project. This fundraiser will help people and at the same time help the environment.
I'm Matt Schlein, and my classmates and I are doing ACBC, which it stands for Aluminum Cans for Burnt Children. And right now we're crushing some cans and we're putting them in a bag, and they're getting ready to go to a firehouse so that we can exchange them for money and give them to these children to buy stuff to help them have fun.
This committee is made up of 6th graders who have volunteered their services. They meet at least once each month to collect the cans.
Last year we had a parent that had become interested in recycling and found out about this project and came to us and asked us if it would be something that the 6th graders would be interested in doing. And at that time we voted on it and decided that this was certainly something indeed that we could do, not only to help with the recycling and saving of our earth, but also to help the burn children.
Last year, the project raised over $5,000. Projects such as this one and the Mile of Pennies raise more than just funds, however. They also raise spirits.
Well, I do think other people should do this. It gives you a sense of gratification, and it's fun while you're doing it.
Well, it makes me feel really good that we can help everybody, and I really enjoy it.
The school reaches out to the community, and in return, the community reaches out to the school. Parents come to the school to participate in educational activities and to provide expertise. David Fowlis is among the many parents who give their time.
I'm one of the parents here. We've got our daughter Jessica in 2nd grade, and our boy Drew will be in kindergarten next year. So we've got quite a long-term investment here. We'll be part of this school for many, many years. And one of the things I found as a parent volunteer, I grew up in the county, so I went to elementary school here in the county, and I don't ever remember seeing parents walking around the school, helping out in the classrooms, doing extra activities. But what we find here with the principal, Ricky Green, and the teachers, an overwhelming open arms, very much encouragement for parents like me who have some time, some interests, some abilities to come in and get involved with different programs in the classroom.
These railroad ties and flowers were put in place last year by Mr. Fowlis and the rest of the Grounds Improvement Committee in an effort to beautify the schoolyard. Also, a succession plot was started in this fenced-in area. The idea is to let the grass grow year after year to produce cover and encourage wildlife to come to the area. This project is in place in Georgia and is a model for what Mr. Fowlis hopes to achieve.
What's the succession plot, the fenced-in area? If we don't mow it, what's it going to provide? Shelter. It's going to provide a place for animals to hide, squirrels, birds, turtles, to hide in there.
As a volunteer naturalist for the National Wildlife Federation, Mr. Fowlis has a great deal to share with the children. This day, he was teaching them about different types of wildlife and getting them to think about what it takes for wildlife to exist. In the fall, he chaperoned a trip to Hemlock Overlook, where the students performed, among other things, a stream study.
Took the 6th graders down in a couple different groups to Bull Run and conducted 3 or 4 different physical and chemical analysis of the stream. And I think I got a letter from each one of the kids afterwards who said over and over again that that the way they look at streams now is a lot different. They realize that there's lots of factors that influence life and the health, the quality of the water. So I think it was a lot of fun, and the kids learned a lot, hands-on, getting down and thinking about the wildlife and the quality of the stream.
Parents are not the only community members helping out in the classroom. This is a career talk being held by Boeing, Westbriar's business partner. This day, one of Boeing's employees was sharing information about careers.
You learn every day. You also have to have good attendance. You have to be there every day, else you're not very helpful. And you also have to take advantage of every opportunity. Like you're taking advantage of this opportunity today, you have to take advantage of opportunities that are offered you in life. Now,
The career talk was only one of many activities Boeing has been involved in at the school. The plans for such events are brainstormed and organized by a steering committee made up of parents, teachers, Boeing employees, and the principal. The group meets occasionally to decide how the school and the business can best support each other.
But it sounds as if, though, I mean, I don't want you doing all this stuff yourself. You may have to get some volunteers who can come that afternoon and set it up, because I think it's scheduled right now for a Wednesday night.
Right. Well, it sounds like Mac has a lot of the things already in works, or at least planned.
Right.
And he'll probably get some support there. But yeah, any Boeing people that can come and help out that afternoon or evening would be great.
Boeing's presence at the school has made a big impact at Westbriar. To the students, these employees are role models. To the staff, they provide insight on how to prepare students to enter the workforce. This type of relationship is critical for schools trying to match the education to the needs of society.
Yeah, I think it's very important for companies to be involved in education, and especially down at the elementary school level, because believe it or not, in 15, 20 years, the kids that are going to this school are going to be working for companies like Boeing. And I think to really establish a strong tie with that, and with the teachers and the faculty at the elementary school level, is important, because these kids are our future. And if we can show them how we do business, and maybe they can tell us how we can do it better and improve the way we do things, I think that'll help everybody all around.
These kids are our future. And this is the theme for Westbriar's commitment to providing a strong and practical academic curriculum with assignments that get students involved in their learning. This is also the reason that leadership, personal development, and relationship skills are ranked as high priorities. In addition, the theme inspires the staff to teach the children responsibility for their community. With the help of their business partner and parents, Westbriar's Happily Ever After is beginning today.